A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions.
In this video, we are taking a bird's eye view of Alan Watts' birth chart, where I attempt to interpret it as briefly as possible in connection to what we know about his life. First, the rising sign. Watts liked to call himself a philosophical entertainer, and can you come up with a more perfect way to describe Venus in Sag? Venus, as the principle of entertainment, is being filtered through Sag and embodied as Watts' basic persona.
But what I like most of all is to set an arrow free, like it were a bird. You know, when it gets far up in the sky, whee! You watch it.
Venus in the first bestows natural beauty, attractiveness, and also an artistic orientation. The man was sure charming, and he was very interested in the high arts such as classical music, poetry, paintings, and even Zen can be seen as this harmonious, artful way of living, Venus, based on a philosophical outlook, Sag. Next, because it's a night chart, I'm gonna jump straight to the moon, prominently placed in the 10th whole sign house of Virgo. Alan Watts' main profession, 10th house, is simply the taking in, assimilation, and interpretation, Virgo, of Oriental wisdom. The disseminating phase of the moon is really about the dissemination of the ideas and ideals which has been realized and seen. And that's Watts' career in a nutshell. One quick note here. In the whole sign house system, the midheaven degree can fall outside of the 10th house, but it still indicates one most elevated point in society. What brought Watts to his highest point of fame or prestige was not so much his books or analytical work, but more like his graceful and poetic way of expression, Libra, in television and radio, which attracted a legion of regular listeners.
Will you marry me?
No.
And it's manifesting through his character because Venus rules Libra. Next is the Capricorn stellium here in the 2nd house. And this is the house of one's worth, be it money, possessions, skills, etc. A stellium shows a life emphasis on a particular area. The Mercury here, as the ruler of Virgo, shows how his career was realized and accomplished through his writing skills and books. Capricorn deals with the existing structures of society. His sun rules the 9th house of religion and foreign things, hence his interest in old traditions such as Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, along with traditional clothes, paintings, antiques. The Sun-Mercury Cazimi explains the clarity and ease at which he speaks and writes, as if he was downloading. It also mixes these two topics together as one. The Mars shows that his drive was directed towards slowly and strategically honing his skills. Cap second, it also adds a layer of assertiveness to his speech, sometimes to the point of aggressiveness, which, by the way, also applies to his drinking habits. 2nd house.
Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn, albeit combust, meaning subservient to the Sun. But here's one funny manifestation of this triple conjunction in Capricorn. The following is a snip from what his son Mark Watts said after investigating his father's death, and I quote, "He was going to pass on, and he planned for it. And once I got the full picture, my conclusion was that Arjari had helped him and actually been part of the plan there. So I think it was like many things in his life. It was well thought out, well orchestrated, and well executed. Quote,
his Jupiter, planet of growth and opportunities, is placed inside Aquarius, the sign of rejecting established structures and progressiveness. As the ruler of his chart, it also shows the way was his overall destiny played out. From an early age, he rejected his religious education, third house, as, and I quote, grim and maudlin, and instead spent most of his time in a small Buddhist lodge. Later in his life, he always felt like, and I quote, an academic outsider. Although he's all about Zen, he was never ordained a Zen monk because he didn't like his teacher's methods, and then later in life proceeds to completely expose and demystify the role and function of a guru. Notice Jupiter also rules the fourth, and he chose to live within a small self-sufficient bohemian community based up a mountain off-grid. The trine to the MC makes me think of his role in fueling the 60s counterculture movement, especially when the community became a meeting place and a retreat for many important San Francisco activists and hippies. Lastly, his most difficult planet being Saturn in the 7th indicates hardship within interpersonal relationships. Granted, it forms a beautiful air grand trine with the midheaven and Jupiter as a mitigating factor, and its ruler is in Kazemi, but still, he was involved in 2 rough divorces, which left him bitter, but also informed his views on the alienating nature of the institution of marriage. Personally, Alan Watts is one of those characters who completely changed my outlook on life, and in a sense made me the man I am today. I offer astrology reading sessions, link in the description below. Thanks for watching.